Although I can't help being curious how you've come to know so much about love, Miranda, at your tender age. Miranda flushes. You know you can talk to me. Elspeth says. You can talk to me whenever you want to, whenever you need to, darling Miranda. There's a boy, isn't there? Not Daniel. Poor Daniel. There's nobody, Miranda says. Really, there's nobody. It's nothing. I'm just a bit sad because I have to go home again. It was such a lovely Christmas. Such lovely snow, Elspeth says. Too bad it never lasts. Dana comes to visit in the spring, 2 months after Christmas. Miranda isn't expecting him. He shows up at the door with a bouquet of roses. Miranda's eyebrows go almost up to her hairline. I'll make tea, she says, and scurries off. All we need is a vase for those. Miranda takes the roses from Daniel, says, Daniel, what are you doing here? You've been avoiding me, Daniel says. Avoiding you? We don't live in the same place, Miranda says. I wasn't even sure you knew where I lived. She can hardly stand to have him here, standing in the spotless foyer of her aunt's semi-detached bungalow. You know what I mean, Miranda. You're never online, he says. And when you are, you never want to chat. You never text me back. Are you going to invite me in? No, she says. Grabs her bag. Don't bother with the tea, Aunt Dora, she says. We're going out. She yanks at Daniel's hand, extracts him violently from her life. Her real life. If only. She speedwalks past the tract house with their small white stone frontages, all the way to the dreary, dingy, Midlands-type, typical high street. Daniel's trailing behind her. It's a long walk, and she has no idea what to say to him. He doesn't know what to say either. Her dress is experimental, nothing she's ever intended to wear out. She hasn't yet brushed her hair today. It's the weekend. She was planning to stay in and study. How dare he show up? There's a tea shop where the scones and sandwiches are particularly foul. She takes them there, and then sit down. Order. I should have let you know I was coming, Daniel says. Yes, Miranda says. Then I could have told you not to. He tries to take her hand. Mirandy, he says. I think about you all the time. About us. I think about us. Don't, she says. Stop. I can't, he says. I like you very much. Don't you like me? It's a horrible conversation. Like stepping on a baby mouse. A baby mouse who happens to be your friend. It doesn't help that Miranda knows how unfair she's being. She shouldn't be angry that he's come here. He doesn't know how she feels about this place. Just a few more months, and she'll be gone from here forever. It will never have existed. They're both practically on the verge of tears by the time the scones come. Daniel takes one bite and spits it out on the plate. It's not that bad, she snaps. Dares him to complain. Yes, it is. It really, truly is that bad. He takes a sip of the tea. And the milk has gone off too. He seems so astonished at this that she can't help it. She bursts out laughing. This astonishes him too, just like that. They aren't fighting anymore. They spend the rest of the day out, feeding ducks at the frozen pond, going in and out of horror movies, action movies, cartoons. All the movies except romantic comedies because why rub salt in the wound? At the cinema. He doesn't try to hold her hand. She tries not to imagine that it's snowing outside, that it is Fanny sitting in the flickering darkness here beside her. Imagining this is against the rules. Miranda finishes out the term, packs up what she wants to take with her, boxes up the rest, sells her sewing machine, leaves a note for her aunt. Never mind what's in it. She knows she'll be more grateful. Her aunt has kept her fed, kept her clothed, given her bed and board, never hit her, never really been unkind. But Miranda is so very tired of being grateful to people. She is sticky, smelly, and punch-drunk with jet lag when her flight arrives in Phuket. Stays the night at the hospital and then sets off. She's read about how this is supposed to go, what you can bring, how long you can stay, how you should behave. All the rules. But in the end, she doesn't see Joannie. Isn't allowed. It isn't clear why. Is her mother there? They tell her yes. Is she still alive? Yes. Can Miranda see her? No. Not possible today. Come back. Miranda comes back 3 times, each time she's sent away. The consul can't help. On her second visit, she speaks to a young woman named Dinda, who comes and spends time with the prisoners when they are in the infirmary. Dinda says that she sat with Joannie 2 or 3 times. That Miranda's mother never says much. It's been over 6 months since her mother wrote to either Elspeth or to Miranda. The 3rd time she's sent away, Miranda buys a plane ticket to Japan. She spends the next 4 months there, teaching English in Kyoto, going to museums, looking at kimonos at the flea markets at the temples. She sends postcards to Elspeth, to Daniel, to her mother. She even sends ones to her aunt. And 2 days before Christmas, Miranda flies home. On the plane, she falls asleep and dreams that it is snowing. She's with Joannie in a cell in the prison in Phuket. Her mother tells Miranda that she loves her. She tells her that her sentence has been commuted. She tells her that if Miranda's good and follows the rules very carefully, she'll be home by Christmas. She has a plan this year. The plan is that it will snow on Christmas. Never mind what the forecast says. It will snow. She will find Fanny, and she won't leave his side. Never mind what the rules say. Daniel's going to St. Andrews this next year. His girlfriend's name is Lillian. Elspeth is on her best behavior. Miranda is too. She tells various honeyballs amusing stories about her students, the deer at the temples, and the girl who played the little flute for them. Elspeth is getting old. She's still the most beautiful woman Miranda's ever seen, but she's in her 60s now. Any day she'll be given a knighthood and never be scandalous again. Lillian is a nice person. She tells Miranda that she likes Miranda's dress. She flirts with the most decrepit of the honeyballs, helps set the table. Daniel watches everything she does as if it is all brand new. As if Lillian has invented compliments, flirting, as if there were no such things as water glasses and table linens before Lillian discovered them. Oh, Newfoundland. Despite all this, Miranda thinks she could be fond of Lillian. She's smart, likes maths. Actually, truly, really seems to like Miranda's dress, which, let's admit it, is meant as an act of war. Miranda is not into pretty at the moment. She's into armory, weaponry, abrasiveness, discomfort. Hers and other people's. The dress is leather, punk, studded with spikes, buckles, metal cuffs, chain looped around and around. Whenever she sits down, she has to be careful not to gash, impale, or skewer the furniture. Hugging is completely out of the question. Lillian wants a tour, so after dinner and in the first round of cocktails, Miranda and Daniel take her all over through Honeywell Hall. The parts that are kept up and the parts that are falling in the shadow. They end up in one of the attics, digging through Elspeth's trunks of costumes. They make Lillian try on cheesecloth dresses, hand-beaded fairy wings, ancient cakey stage makeup, Take selfies. Daniel reads old mail from fans, pulls out old photos of Elizabeth and Joanne backstage. Here's Joanne perched on a giant urn. Joanne, her mouth full of pins. Joanne at first night party, drunk and laughing and young. It should hurt to look at these pictures. Shouldn't it? Do you think it'll snow? Lillian says. I want snow for Christmas. Daniel says, snowed last Christmas, shouldn't expect it to will this year. Too warm. Not even trying to sound casual about it, Miranda says, it's going to snow. It has to snow. If it doesn't snow, then we're going to do something about it. We'll make it snow. She feels quite gratified when Lillian looks at her as if Miranda's insane, possibly dangerous. Well, the dress should have told her that. My present this year, Miranda says, it's going to be snow. Call me the Snow Queen. Come and see. Her suitcases, her special equipment, barely fit into the tiger. Elspeth didn't say a word, just raised an eyebrow. Most of it is still in the carriage house. Daniel's game when she explains. Lillian's either game or pretending to be. There are long gauzy swaths of white cloth to weave through tree branches to tack down to the ground. There are long strings of glass and crystal and silver ornaments. Hand-cut lace snowflakes caught in netting. The pièce de résistance is the Snowboy staged whisper fake snow machine with 50-foot extending hose reel. Miranda's got bags and bags of fake snow, over an hour's worth of the best quality fake snow money can buy, according to the guy who rented her the Snowboy. It's nearly midnight by the time they have everything arranged in Miranda's satisfaction. She goes inside and turns on the hall's floodlights and turns on the snow machine. A fine glittering snow begins. Lillian kisses Daniel lingeringly. A fine romance. Elspeth has been observing her the whole time from the kitchen stair. She puts her hand over her cocktail. Fake snow dusts her fair hair, streaks it white. All the Honeywells who haven't gone to bed yet, which is most of them, ooh and ah. The youngest Honeywells, the ones who weren't even born when Miranda first came to the Honeywell Hall, break into a spontaneous round of applause. Miranda feels quite powerful. Santa Claus exists after all. All of the Honeywells eventually retreat back from the house to drink and gossip and admire Miranda's special effects from within. It may not be properly cold tonight, but it's cold enough. Time for hot chocolate, hot toddies, hot baths, hot water bottles in bed. She's not sure, of course, that this will work. This is playing by the rules. But isn't she owed something by now? A bit of luck? And she is. At first not daring to hope, she thinks that Daniel has come from the hall to fetch her in. But it isn't Daniel. Fenny and that old Justicore. Miranda's stitching around the piece above his pocket, walks out from under the hawthorn tree. It worked, Miranda says. She hugs herself, which is a mistake. All those spikes. Ow! Oh. I shouldn't be here, should I? Fanny says. You've done something. Miranda looks closely at his face. How young he looks. Barely older than she. How long has he been this young? Fake snow is falling on their heads. We have about an hour, Miranda says. Not much time. He comes to her then, takes her in his arms. Be careful, she says. I'm on spikes. Ridiculous dress, he says into her hair, though calmly. Is this what people wear in this age? Says the man wearing a Justicore, she says. They're almost the same height as this year. He's shorter than Daniel now, though she realizes. Then they're kissing. She and Fanny are kissing, and she isn't thinking about Daniel at all. They kiss, and Fanny presses himself against her, armored with spikes though Miranda is. He holds her, hands just above her waist, tight enough to think that she will have bruises in the shape of his fingers. Come in the hall with me, Miranda says between kisses. Come with me. Fanny bites her lower lip.